Subscribe now.
Alright, top 10 lies we're told in school. Let's go.
You're doing well. Welcome back to the Most Amazing Top 10. My name's Danny Berg, Instagram down there, and this is the channel where we take all kinds of weird and wonderful things from all over the world.
Okay, we don't care about that.
Little top 10 list. So school lesson.
He's still talking.
That we don't have five senses. We're always taught in school that humans have five senses: sight, hearing, taste, touch, and smell. Although there's no doubt that these are senses, they are not the full story. Some neurologists believe there could be anywhere up to 21 different distinct human senses. These include sense of balance, organic senses such as hunger or thirst, and lesser known senses such as proprioception, which is your brain's knowledge of the relative positions of your body parts.
Okay. This makes a lot more sense. You cannot tell me that our body only senses 5 things, bro. Okay, so like, if you tell yourself that there's a step underneath you, and then there's not a step, you like stumble naturally, right? You literally just fall. So that makes sense because you're tricking your brain into thinking that, or you're really just messing up one of your senses. Like literally, if you know there's a step, you're not gonna trip or fall or anything. But if you don't see a step coming, you're literally gonna fall. So that makes sense. There's more. And then balance is another one. What else could be a sense? I feel like every other sense of like the 21 or whatever are just like presets of the 5 senses though. Because you can literally put all those under like sight, hearing, smell, touch. Like I feel like they're literally under them anyway.
My way of describing that sense is when you first wake up, you instantly know where your different limbs are without having to see, taste, touch, or smell them. And if you can't smell your limbs when you wake up, I think you might need a shower, my friend.
Ah, shit.
I want to ask you guys, who was the first European to discover the Americas? If you said Christopher Columbus,
Amerigo Vespucci.
Down big time. Columbus sailed the ocean blue in 1492. That's the phrase parroted by school children across the world, teaching them that Christopher Columbus set sail from Spain and was the first European to set foot in the Americas.
Alright, I'm gonna just call it Amerigo Vespucci. I know this because I had an A in history. The only class I had an A in. Let's go.
But it was actually the Vikings who were the first to reach North America, with settlements in Newfoundland, modern-day Canada, and even evidence of trading with the Native Americans they came into contact with. They got there around 1000 AD, which means Columbus and the history lessons you had were almost 500 years too late. All right, moving on now, guys.
Whoa. How did they sail across the ocean that early back then? Nah, that gotta be cap. That's gotta be cap. Unless they're more high-tech than I thought. I'd figure like a giant wave or something, which just flip their little rowboats. Because, Vikings, they're not known for being, like, the most high-tech people. They're known for being savages.
If you're watching this video, you're probably not too far from a light bulb, but at number 8, you'd be wrong to think Thomas Edison invented it. Huge inventions like the light bulb can often be hard to credit to one person, but if you had to give it to anyone, give it to Humphrey Davy and Joseph Swan. They both developed working electric lights well before Edison, but it was Edison who was credited with developing the first commercially viable electric light.
Because his name sounds way cooler.
Using carbonized bamboo as a filament for the bulb, a bulb could glow bright, last a long time, and be cheap to make. It was that last factor, the cost, that made his patent the most popular version of the light bulb, which is why a lot of people give him sole credit for the invention. Interesting stuff. So let's move on to number 7. I want you guys to complete the sentence. You are as blind as a
bat.
If you said bat, I'm afraid you're wrong.
What?
It was often taught to us in school that bats only use echolocation to get around as their eyesight is so poor from evolving in dark caves. The truth, though, is that all bats have eyes and are capable of sight.
Obviously.
A bigger bats can even see 3 times better than humans. And almost all bats in the megabat or fruit bat family cannot even echolocate and have...
You know something cool, though? So, there's a lot of animals that have better senses than humans, but they only have, like, 1 sense, or, like, 2 senses that are better than humans, right? So, like, with bats, you said that their eyes are 3 times better. I mean, cool. But they can't walk. They can't feel as well as we can. I don't know, man. Humans are special. Like, at the end of the day, like, we are, like, the top G on this planet. We're all Andrew Tates.
Excellent night vision. They have large bulging eyes and rely on them solely to locate their food. So next time you guys meet someone that says bats are blind, tell them to just open their eyes.
I'm gonna say cat.
At number 6, when you were learning about gravity at school, This guy was probably brought up, Isaac Newton. He's credited with
He was
coming
brought up
up
for
with the
something.
universal law of gravitation, which is the basis of how we understand gravity today. Big stuff. But many people are taught that the idea just hit him one day, quite literally, when an apple fell from a tree and onto his head. It's not a million miles from the truth, but Newton actually just witnessed an apple fall from a tree in his mother's garden. After seeing how the apple always falls in a straight line to the ground, he went and developed his theory. I'm glad we cleared that up. And would you look at the time, we're already halfway through now at number 5, and we're going to be talking about Vincent van Gogh's ear. A lot of us were taught in history or art class that famous Dutch painter Vincent van Gogh cut his left ear off and gave it to a prostitute. He apparently did...
Huh? What? I've never been taught that. I knew he didn't have an ear, but they never said why. I mean, I guess they did say it was cut off, but they never gave us an example or reason as to why it was cut off. But anyways.
This after having a huge fight with his friend, who was also an artist. The truth that has come to light in recent years is...
Bro, that's the most Joker shit I've ever heard in my life. He said, bro, I'm gonna turn you into a picture. He cut his ear off and said, beautiful.
that it was actually Vincent's friend who did it. He was an avid fencer who drew his sword when the two were having an argument, and somewhere along the lines, he took a swipe and accidentally cut off part of Vincent's ear. But letters between
Okay, I'm sorry, I paused a lot. But he cut his ear off with a fencing sword? Brother, they're just like, no way, bro. How fast and how strong is this man? Bro, everyone back in the day was like twice as strong, twice as manly as we are now. Honestly. And the thing is, too, how would they even work out back in these days, bro? Like, that's something to look up. When was the first weight created? Like who created, like, dumbbells and stuff? I'm gonna have to look that hell up.
Vincent and his brother after the event seemed to point to the fact that instead of him reporting this to the police, Vincent decided to make up the story about him doing it himself in order to save his friend from jail time. Well, it seemed to fall
that's a G.
way back then, and it still seems
Gunner
to
would
fall
never.
a lot of people even to this day, because 100 years after the event, people still wrongly think that Vincent cut his own ear off. Now though, we're at number 4, and we're going to be talking about how many states of matter there are. Most people were taught at school that there are just 3 states of matter: solid, liquid, and gas. Everything in existence falls under these categories.
Yeah.
Although they are the most well known, they are not the full picture. There's all kinds of different states that matter can be in. Plasma can be found in everything from neon signs to the inside of stars. Liquid crystals have molecules that are ordered like a solid but behave like a liquid, and the list goes on and on.
This is all going.
Bose, Einstein, condensates,
This
and
is-
superfluids, to name but a few. I think it's fair to tell kids that there are 3 states of matter, but I think we should at least hint that there are others out there. Otherwise, you'll end up like me, a grown man who only just found this fact out today. Now,
Well, I'm a grown man that doesn't give a fuck.
and we're going to be talking about the misconceptions between tongues and taste. Does this tongue map look familiar to you? It claims to show the different areas of your mouth that are responsible for all kinds of different tastes. Bitter at the back, sour on the sides, salty in front of that, and then sweet right at the front.
No one told me this is cool.
1942 at Harvard University, after a man called Edwin Boring, yes, that's his real name, misinterpreted a German study and drew the first tongue map. Before anyone knew what was going on, they found their way into countless biology textbooks all over the world. We now know that the entire surface of your tongue is responsible for detecting all kinds of different tastes. At number 2 now.
Obviously, the fuck?
Diamonds come forever, but if you thought that diamonds came from coal, well, I'm afraid you're wrong. But don't worry, because I thought that too, so we can...
Bro, speaking of like this type of stuff, so there's a mine. I think there's one in Alabama and there's one in North Carolina. You can pay money to go and just mine for a couple hours. So, what are the odds of actually finding diamonds, gold, sapphires these days? You know what I mean? Like, obviously, it can't be common. But also, I've never heard of like the U.S. running out of diamonds or anything like that. So it has to be coming from somewhere. And also, like, if I just found it, they're probably gonna try to take it from me. Let's be real here. You know how the government is. They're selfish. They won't let us have nothing. That's why if I find like a huge thing of diamond, I'm holding on to that bitch for a rainy day. One day I'm gonna be on the side of the road. Hopefully not. Hopefully not. And I'm gonna just be like, oh yeah, I hit a diamond, and I'm just gonna be rich. Literally buy a mansion the next day. I would literally go from rags to riches, just like that.
both be wrong together. Coal is made up from the carbon remains of ancient plants that lived up to 450 million years ago. The thing is, most diamonds on the planet date back to before 542 million years ago. That means most of the diamonds ever made were already diamonds, almost 100 million years before the first ancient plants ever appeared to eventually form coal. So most diamonds aren't made from coal, but you can use coal to make torches, or so I've heard. Alright guys, so at number 1, we're going to be talking about how the greenhouse effect is caused by global warming. Or not. Now guys, don't get it twisted, global warming is a real thing. All the evidence seems to point towards humans being to blame for the rising temperatures of Earth, but somehow the greenhouse effect got lumped in with all of that along the way. The greenhouse effect is an absolutely essential part of nature that involves our atmosphere trapping some of the radiation heat that hits our planet and bouncing off and absorbing it instead. This makes the atmosphere and our planet a lot warmer than it would be without any atmosphere at all, which gives us the climate needed to sustain life. It's a totally natural process, but it's when humans release too many greenhouse gases into the atmosphere that we really start to create a problem. But that's something for a whole other video.
Yeah, the fuck?
What? Did you learn anything?
Okay, I'm not gonna lie. 2 of those things went straight over my head. What? I had no clue what he was going with right there. Was he basically disclaiming the greenhouse effect? Or just rewriting it? I'm not sure, but I'm actually more satisfied with this top 10 than I was with another one that was complete disappointment. I still want to find a medieval top 10 for y'all, like worst inventions ever created, medieval times, because everyone knows, and I'll preach this till I die, in medieval times, they were evil for no reason. Bro, people would just make weapons and be like, look at this. This could stretch someone's asshole out. And it'll be like, $10,000 right now. Take it. Bro, no cap. If you came up with like a torture device back in the old days, you were rich. You were famous. Bro, like, no cap. Like, especially these days, if you did something like that, they'd be like, officers right there. Take him to jail, officer. But that's been top 10 lies we were told in school. And it's boy Black and Jen. Peace.